Hey guys, how are you? So it has been a while. I'm just going to give you guys a bit of an update, let you know what's been going on with me. I've been a little MIA, and see if any messages come in from spirit, energy, whatever you want to label it as. What I was thinking is I'm going to do some self-care while I do this. I have had a rough day and especially a rough evening, and I really am working on my shit. I always have been, but I am working on my shit. And one of the things I'm really trying to work on right now that's very surfaced is, my self-love, trust, and belief in myself. And I just had some stuff happen, and this is a good opportunity for me to either fall completely into illusion and self-pity and whatnot, or I can, like my friend said, pull my socks up and have belief and faith and trust in myself and do some self-care to love myself a little bit after what I just went through. So, so I'll give you an update as to where I've been the past month in a moment. I'll just explain what I'm talking about right now with what I just went through. Long story short, I have my boundaries. I still have my boundaries just like anyone else. The illusion of boundaries will melt away. But if we need to put up boundaries, that's okay. And just because I utilize my boundaries doesn't make me a fake. I will delete comments on my stuff that are insults and that indulge and push too much of illusion, because I just can't right now. People who follow my stuff, especially ones who've been following me for a long time, know what my boundaries are with this. I will balance out and I will get there where we can talk about this stuff and it's not going to affect my reality, but I'm still learning to control my mind and balance my emotions, and I'm not in a space right now where I can indulge in certain things. So I do have my limits, and I will delete certain comments when it comes to pushing illusion. And like I said, if you're insulting me, why would I keep an insult on my stuff? Right? So, and that being said, I also recognize where it's roles being played and my shit being reflected at me. I'm very, very, very aware of that. And you guys, I share my struggles with you guys because I know, for me anyway, it helps to know I'm not alone. And I don't want you guys feeling alone. And then I also don't want my shit to come back and bite me in the ass. I can't off camera be a mess and struggle with my baggage and then I'll go on camera and act all happy all the time. I'm not happy all the time. Technically we are. The truth is happiness is always here. And that's who we truly are. But at the same time, I am struggling with illusion just like you guys. So, so that being said, I did have to put up some boundaries this evening, and someone tried calling me a fake and everything. But again, I see where the reflection of my own fears with that. But I'm working on belief in myself. I know I'm good at what I do when I'm believing in myself. And it's just a matter of holding on to that belief and continue to work on it. And as I fall more into that, my blocks are going to deflate more and more, and I'm going to get better at what I do. I nail my readings when I know I do. There's a few readings that have been a little iffy, but that's usually when my confidence is shaken and I feel like I'm being tested. Other than that, I nail my readings. So, and that's not ego. It's just proof of words. Just from what I've seen happen. I've done my readings and then stuff happens and it's just proof that I was right. They're like, oh yeah, it ended up happening. What you said ended up happening. So what I said ended up happening. So that being said, I'm going to explain where I've been the past month, why I've kind of been MIA, while doing some self-care. So, in case anyone cares, I don't know if you're going to, I'm not promoting anything for pay or whatever, but just some people get curious. So I'm just going to let you guys know. The first thing I'm going to do is, if I can get it out here, I've got this, I just got it from like Walmart, this Freeman French pink clay peel off mask. So I'm going to start with this, and it stays on my face for 10 to 15 minutes and then it peel off mask, duh. And then I got this stuff here, which I'm really, really, really excited to use. I just found out about these products. I used them when I was just with my friend, this past month, which I'm going to explain in a minute, but it's this Pacifica. I don't know how well you can see it. It's probably a little blurry, but it's this Glow Baby Vita Glow face lotion. Oh yeah, so there's the lotion first. Sorry. face cleanser. So Pacifica coconut milk cream to foam face wash. And it's especially for, it can be for all type of skins, especially stressed skin, which my skin has been very stressed with the amount of purging I've been doing the past year. So I'm really excited to use this. And then I've got the Pacifica Glow Baby lotion for my face for after. And then I have these guys here, also from Pacifica. They're vegan ceramide hydration filled under eye and smile line jelly patches. So I'm going to use these. I don't care about my face, like my smile lines, but my eyes can get pretty puffy and swollen from the purging and whatnot. So I'm going to be using this for my eyes. So I'm really excited about this. It feels good to do self-care. So just give me 1 second here. Hi, that's funny. I just paused at 5 minutes and 46 seconds. 654. 456 numbers. And then the phone goes ding. Hi, Erik. Which actually I can feel Erik. Oh, I think you guys might actually even be able to see it. Possibly. I can see it in the mirror. I don't know if you guys can see. There, you can slightly see how my ear's a little bit more pink than this one right now. I don't know if you guys can tell. I can tell in the mirror. Oh, it's so obvious in the mirror. All in here is like red compared to here. Can you tell? Yeah, that's Erik right there. Playing with my ear. Erik, Archangel Uriel. So anyway, where have I been this past month? Okay, where have I been this past month? I've been out of province. I haven't been home. Yes, I'm like very self-conscious of this angle right now, but at the same time, I need to not care. I'm not my avatar. And the more I work on my self-love, this will start changing as well. And I need to love myself no matter how I look. So I got to do it this way. Trust me, I know what this angle looks like. Anyway, yeah, so this past month I have been out of town. I've been visiting a friend that is about almost a 4-hour flight away. Going there, it was 3 hours, 40 minutes. Coming back was like 3 hours and 10 minutes. Somehow coming back took less time than getting there. However that works. And I just squeezed some of my face mask onto my counter. Anyway, so yeah, I've been gone for a month because I was visiting a friend out of town. Now I know I can film and stuff. I could have filmed and stuff technically while I was out, but I wasn't really getting big prompts too, and I had challenges that I was facing, working on and facing, and on top of it, I was actually quite sick for 3 weeks. I got the vid, trying to be careful in how I say it because I don't want my stuff to get censored and flagged or however this. I don't know what the rules on YouTube are, so I'm just trying to be careful. So yeah, I got the vid. However you guys say it, I don't know how people are saying it. And that's one thing that a challenge I had tonight was someone trying to talk about my being sick and all that, and being sick all the time. I'm actually never sick, which is one reason why it was difficult for me, because I know it was pretty intense my spout of it, but I also know that I definitely didn't get it. I didn't get it. Oh shoot. I didn't get it as intensely as many others have got it. And I'm thankful for that. But that being said, I never get sick, especially since I hit my awakening. I never get sick, ever. So getting sick this round was difficult for me because I'm not used to being sick. So it's kind of funny that this person tried to say certain things about me and my spirit team with my quote unquote being sick all the time, which I'm actually not. I'm never sick. And the thing is, the vid is ascension and ascension symptoms. I have channeled this, but I've also just known it, especially now that I got it. Oh yeah, it is it's everything I've been going through the past 2 years since I hit my awakening. It's just on blast, and that's because it is a quick blast up. It is a quick ascension blast up. You don't become fully ascended. I shouldn't have done that. Oh well. You don't become fully ascended Well, technically we already are fully ascended. Some people do actually, no, that's a lie. Some people do. Those who have transitioned due to it, those are ones who fully ascended fast for it. That's why I have empathy for those who have struggled and who've lost loved ones through this. At the same time, I can't look at it as a bad thing. First of all, death isn't bad. You're transitioning back to your original energy form. You get to go home, man. You get to go home. And our loved ones are able to actually help us more and be with us in stronger ways than what they would have ever been able to had they not. So it's literally ascension symptoms, and even the stuff that has come along with it that people argue over if we should or should not be utilizing these certain things. Those are literally upgrades. It was making me laugh standing in these buildings with these things. For people getting these things, because I could see, even though they didn't necessarily realize they were not aliens, we're all aliens, galactics and robots issuing upgrades for ascension, and everyone's freaking out about it. And we have to laugh. The thing is, my laughing isn't trying to be unfeeling or uncaring. Sorry, hang on. So my laughing isn't meant to be mean or unfeeling or uncaring. And I just unpaused it at 11:11. That's funny. It's not meant to be unfeeling, mean, and uncaring. If you end up laughing about something, and you can, especially in that moment, I can just feel it's just this beyond kind of laughter, because you see and know what the truth is. And we do it, because it's one big joke. Right now, it looks like it's really gross when you're looking at it up close, but it really is. Everything is one big joke. It's just our own little puzzle pieces look gross when we're holding it up close, but when we put it all together, we see it's a big joke, and we all laugh together about it. And that's just it. We're laughing together about it. Even if it feels like it's not together, it is together. That's who we truly are. But anyway, so when I laugh, it's not coming from a place of cruelty or lack of empathy. It's a good thing if we're able to laugh. Laugh is healing. Laughter is healing. If we can laugh at anything, we should laugh with. It's more like with. If we can laugh with anything, we should, because laughter is healing and it recalibrates. So, anyway, so that being said, I got the vid and I was sick for 3/4 of the time there. I only stopped even being sniffly my last few days of being there, within the last week. So, but it was funny because my friend and I had said every time we get to see each other in person, we always blast up. We get these big blasts up. We get these ascension blasts up, and it's always really strong, and spirit comes in strong for us and everything. It's really cool. So, so that being said, I was not, as much as I was like, oh, this kind of sucks, I am appreciative of it. And I also was not surprised that this ended up happening, because, sorry, I'm trying to get these out without taking all 4 of them out. Yeah, I'm not surprised that ended up happening. This is what happens with her and I. So, okay, I'm going to pause this, and I'll continue talking about my trip in a few. But yeah, that's why I was really MIA, is because I was away. And then for 3/4 of my trip, I was actually quite sick. So, and again, being able to channel and do this stuff even during those times, well, and that's just it. Being sick and pain and illusion is melting away. So, but yeah, I'll get there. I'm balancing out. So, all right, I will be back in a few. All right, so that's been 10 minutes. So now it's time to get this stuff off of my face. So yeah, and I did it kind of thin, but oh well, whatever. It is what it is. So you guys are probably gonna see me struggle a little bit because I did this kind of thin, but oh well. But yeah, so it's so I got the vid while I was out there. Did I end up saying the full word? I don't know. We'll see what ends up happening. If I did or didn't, and then if I did, what ends up happening. I don't know what the rules are. Anyway, but it was a blast up. Erik did come through pretty strongly several times. Erik, Archangel Uriel, he did come through pretty strongly several times while I was there. The one night we were hanging out at my friend's boyfriend's house, and it was the 3 of us, and her and I were standing at the side of the room by this one table talking, And we'd been having a few drinks or whatever. And I was really wanting to just take this piece off, but it's it just, there we go. So and so as you guys know, Erik is my husband. He's not just my spirit guide. We are like ultimate partners. We're beyond soulmates, beyond twin flames. I don't fully understand it. But it is a role that him and I have played. We have played multiple different roles together, but we often play as husband and wife, and we have this connection beyond too. And my friend has connections with Erik, familial connections within other lives as well, and she allows herself often to be an open conduit for source and for spirit. Oftentimes for specifically Erik, for me when we are together. And Erik came through her this night in a certain way, and it was very obviously Erik. She was basically trancing Erik in a certain way, which was really cool. And then all of a sudden she kind of shook her head and realized what she was doing. She was like, oh my God, Erik. And just as that happened, he just became so solid to me. I've talked about this before, where it's actually happening more and more now, where like, you know, when someone's standing kind of like beside you but behind you, so you can't actually see them like with your eyes, but like you can feel that they're there. You can feel their energy, and when you turn and look there, you can see that there's someone standing there, you know? That's what it's becoming like with Erik. And it's like more weird. It's more weird than not to not be seeing him. Like I should see him because he's that solid. And that's what happened. So he came through my friend, like she basically tranced him for like a split moment. And then he became very solid. And I was like, oh my God, Erik is so solid right now. And then we had this like martini shaker thing on the table, and there was like almost zero carbonation in it. And even if there's no such thing as coincidences, it's only synchronicities, but there wasn't enough carbonation in it for it to have done this, especially the timing. So she chanced him, and then I was like, oh my God, he feels so solid right now. He is so solid right now. Then immediately the lid of this thing pops up, flips a few times, and lands upside down right beside it. And like, even her boyfriend was like, what? Like, we were all like, oh my God, hi, Erik. Even her boyfriend, like it was benefit for me, for confirmation for me, but it was a big part for him as well to see Erik is here and Erik's real. It was really, really, really cool. There was another point where we were pulling out of her driveway of her complex, and directly across, like I'm just looking straight, and there's this dude walking up the street, and he looked just like Erik as a little younger. His longer curly hair, where it was lighter, it was like a kind of like a blondish color, glasses, very thin baseball cap. And I was immediately, as soon as I was like, that looks just like Erik, immediately he looked at me and smiled. He wouldn't have been able to hear me. He was across the street, and I think the windows might have been open, but I didn't say it loud enough for him to hear. I was like, that guy looks just like Erik, and he looked at me and smiled. And I had it confirmed. Erik, basically, to other people, he might have not looked exactly like Erik, but in my reality, he did. And Erik, he allowed himself to be open, even if it wasn't conscious, which it probably wasn't. It would have been subconscious. He allowed an opening for Erik to come through. Erik popped into his avatar, looked at me and smiled, and then popped back out again, which is really, really, really fucking cool. And then there was another point we were... Erik, I love Erik as Frankenfurter. He makes an amazing Frankenfurter. And I'm going to have to hop in the shower. We were walking. This was my last day there. Her and I were walking back up to her place from this restaurant. We went to eat at this really nice restaurant for lunch. And we walked by the movie theater, and it had been advertising from a couple days before that they had played Rocky Horror. And so we got talking about Rocky Horror, and we were walking for a couple blocks, and there was no music playing or anything. It was quiet. So we got talking for a couple blocks, and we were talking about Rocky Horror, and she was saying how, she had to watch it in high school for a class or whatever, and she couldn't really get into it. But she was thinking now, with what she understands more about reality, she might, it might be more interesting, or she might, pick up on stuff. And I was like, yeah, oh, it totally is. Like, Rocky Horror is like, with fear programming layered over it, Rocky Horror is like a huge reflection of ascension and like shared love and all this stuff with, like I said, fear programming layered over it. So we're talking about this, and all of a sudden I'm like, stop, listen. And there was music blaring from some building. It was not the theater. We were too far at this point. It was, and either way, it hadn't been, there was no music playing at that point, and there was no reason to, because it had already been passed. So they wouldn't have been advertising it. The event had already passed. It was some random building that we were by was blaring Time Warp from Rocky Horror. And my friend and I just started laughing. We were both like, hi, Erik. Like, it was just so cool. Like, it was so cool. There are a few other times where like just he came through and through other people like that. At night, for some reason, at like 3 a.m, randomly, the one night I'm sitting outside by myself looking, they had a beautiful view, and I'm just looking at the stars. I saw shooting stars like 3 times while I was there, which was amazing. And then getting little stuff all over me. And then at one point at like 3 a.m, I'm sitting outside by myself on their balcony, and someone's doing random fireworks in the middle of the night. And there was no reason that I can think of for there to be. But, it's, even if there was some sort of holiday that I'm not aware of, and if that's the case, I apologize. But again, synchronicities and no such thing as coincidences. I know that was a magical moment for me to enjoy, because something had happened, I can't remember what it was, but there was a reason why I'm like, that's a good reason for fireworks to be going off right now too. So it was really cool. Like I said, there was challenges. There's definitely challenges that came along with this. Facing things, there was challenges on all ends, but focusing just on me, there was stuff with my own shit that I know I've had within myself, but I haven't had to face until now. So I had to face that. And, it wasn't necessarily easy, but I know it's worth it, and I'm very thankful for it. And if I was going to do it with anybody, I'm glad that it was with her. And if it wasn't going to be with her, it would have been with one of my other very close soul member family members. And I would have been thankful for that as well. But it needs to be with, it needs, going through stuff like that, it needs to be with people that I am really close with. And there are certain people in my life, online and offline, that go through blast up with me, and I'm very, very thankful for that. I am also thankful, as much as I can resist it. Yeah, I'm wearing like total shorts that don't really match this, but whatever. I'd rather be comfortable right now. I am also thankful for those that I've had to block and put up boundaries with. We might not be in the greatest space right now in this, but when I get into a good head and heart space, I am thankful, because I can see what this is, and it does give me these blasts up, and I'm so thankful for that. It's like I say, those who burn us the most and those who support us the most are our closest soul family. Plus, at the end of the day, we all share the same consciousness. So our magical mystery movie made for us, by us. And, that's part of, what's been difficult with my journey on this is I'm not the only one. It's actually really interesting that a client and a friend, client, I don't think they're quite a client yet. Didn't mean to say yet. Sorry, words. My words are lacking. A word is a word is a word. It's because we talk back and forth, and they do ask me questions. And so it's not like paid client, but it's just in the sense of I've been helping them understand some things, and vice versa. They're teaching me things too. Like you guys are all my teachers as well, but they had said that I seem to be a little bit of an anomaly in the community when it comes to certain things with understanding truth versus reality and illusion. And I said, it's funny because the one job that I worked for, when I was doing this job, my name that I called myself, for this job, we had to make names for ourselves. I called myself Dr. Anomaly. And I'm like, there you go. That right there is synchronicity and proof as to what I'm saying here. And it is, I'm not the only one. It's not a hierarchy thing, and it's not an egoic thing. There's certain ones of us that are part of this first wave where we're bringing truth of reality back online. And it's always been here, and it's always been online, but it's been pushed down and hidden, like from ourselves. We've been doing it to ourselves. But we're remembering right now, and there are old paradigms that are melting away. And, people say that I'm not true and I'm not real and I'm a fake and a fraud because they'll pull out a name like Dolores Cannon. And they'll say something like, well, Dolores Cannon never said anything like this. That's fine. That's fine. But that's because that wasn't meant for her to receive that, because she wasn't ready to hear it. Not to bring out bash anybody. It's not a bash. It just is what it is. The human brain, it's just an example to try and explain, to make things easier to understand. The human brain can only accept and understand what it's ready to accept and understand. And what I'm talking about with, we make our reality. We make this and we sign up for and want everything we go through. That's a hard pill to swallow. The human brain hasn't been ready to hear and accept that until now. So there are certain ones of us that are coming online saying, hey, this is what some absolute truths are. And these are truths. Everyone has their own little personal truths, but there is absolute truth when it comes to reality. And some of those truths are everything is unconditional love. We sign up and want everything we go through. We're melting away illusion right now. We share the same consciousness. There is no negative energies. There is no evil. There is no bad. No one's done wrong. There's no judgment. These are absolute truths. And everyone will remember. And I'm not the only one. But that's what's difficult about this, is people look at me as fake and a fraud and all this because they're hearing this stuff that, hasn't been really recognized, seen, or heard of until now. And then they're like, there's people are saying this is why I don't like light workers, because they're just saying to take a slap in the face. You guys know, for people who actually pay attention to my stuff, I just talked about boundaries with me. I just put up my own boundaries tonight. But the illusion of boundaries is melting away, and it is very important as we put up those boundaries to also go zoom out and remember what the truth is and go inward and do our work. Because if you're triggered by something, there's something within you that's projected outward in order for you to interact with it in that way. Because you've been resisting and pushing it down, it needs to be released in some way. It's like bottling your emotions. You bottle, and you'll eventually get an explosion. Same with this. You either face it inwards, and if you don't, then it's going to be pushed out for you to face it. The only way out is through. So put up boundaries, but it's also important to remember to zoom out, remember what the truth is, and go in and do the work. And that's what I do, but I do it privately. I do my work privately. That's between me and my team and my galactic family. I share how I do it, but when I'm actually doing the work, that's between us. And it has to be. I'm not ready to share that publicly right now. It's difficult sharing the breakdowns because it can be embarrassing, and I know how it looks. But in this now, it feels to me essential to share that because, again, I'm not the only one going through it, and it's difficult, and I want people to know that they're not alone. And then I share the tools as to what to do to get through it and how to work on it. But then I do the actual work on it myself privately. So... And then also with what happened tonight, they were saying I'm basically a fake because I basically just read the book with my cards when I'm doing tarot reading. That's not actually exactly what I'm doing. I do utilize the books, but what happens is when I'm reading from the books, Spirit is highlighting to me what I'm to be reading. Sometimes it's the entire page, sometimes it's not. And then I also get messages in my head, and then I also get confirmation on my body with tickles and pokes. When I get tickled or poked, I know that's a confirmation I'm getting something right, and that's a message they want me to give. Everyone's doing things their own pace, their own path, their own journey. I channel my way. We all have all the same abilities, but we're bringing it online in our own way. Just because I'm not channeling the same way as you doesn't mean, exactly, I'm getting tickled on my foot, exactly. Just because I'm not channeling the same way as you doesn't mean I'm not real. I'm just different. And there's nothing wrong with that difference, not good or bad. It's just different. We need to stop judging each other, and we need to stop focusing on other people's shit and focus on your own shit. I understand when people get angry when I push myself in their own space, in their spaces. But when it's my own space and I'm just speaking truths, I'm not meaning to attack anybody. That's never my intention. I just speak what I know is true. And then some people just get angry with it, and then they come at me. But I also see where it's my reflection. So, okay. So that being said, what I think I'm going to do is I'm debating on, I'm like, okay, because I'm going to use the face cleanser, but I want to shower. So I'm like, do I use the cleanser now and then get in the shower and then use the lotion? Or do I shower first, then use the cleanser? I need to make a decision. Hang on one second. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to use this now, and then I'm going to hop in the shower, because then I can really rinse my face really good with all of this. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm excited for this stuff. Excuse me, I just bought it last night. I meant to use it last night, but I ended up being too tired and I ended up going to bed. So, but I'm actually kind of glad that I waited to utilize it to today, because I don't know, there's just something that feels good about opening this up and using it for the first time after having a rough evening. So I need scissors to open this. 1 second. Okay, so time to utilize this. So let's see. Oh, I need to actually, it would be helpful if I do that all the time with this stuff. I go to use something like, oh yeah, there's a little sealer thing on it. So I should take that off if I want to actually use it. That would be helpful. So yeah. And the thing is, I have my judgments and stuff too, so I get it. I get it. I get it. I'm there. I'm working on it as well. You know, but that's why I'm working on it, because I don't want it to be coming back to me as well, you know? I don't think my skin's black enough for this. Shoot. There. That's better. So yeah, my doing this today, this is what I'm going to try and start really doing more consistent self-care routines. You know, want a bit more. Do a bit more consistent self-care routines, especially, you know, on moments when I get triggered or have a rough day or evening, you know, go into self-care. And I think the fact that I'm doing this tonight, I need to give myself credit on how I'm handling this lesson. So, all right, I am going to hop in the shower, rinse this off, make myself refreshed, and we will be back. Okay, I am all freshly showered and clean. So yeah, no guys, I've got my shit, man, and I'm never gonna deny that. I'll be honest with where I'm at as it melts away. But I mean, I look like I'm miserable in many nows because I've got a lot of baggage that I'm allowing to surface and face. And it takes work, and I'm doing it fast. I'm not taking my time with it. You know, there's nothing wrong with taking your time with it, but I didn't want to do it that way. I wanted out as fast as possible. So look what I get, right? So yeah, no, that's why I've been a little MIA, because I've been away visiting a friend for the past month, and then just in, you know, a re-explanation as to me and my journey and how I work and my boundaries, and, you know, like I said, I'm doing the best I can, you guys. And I recognize, unless I'm neutral and within love, I do have shit there too. So I may not seem like it or act like it in the moment, but I always circle around to recognizing it, acknowledging it, and sending out thanks and doing the thought and energy work. So I'm working on it. I'm working on it. All right. And now for this lotion. Cool. I'm excited about this. I think it should just be able to... I'm about to make a fool of myself. Hang on a second. It was simple. It was just an easy twist. Now it's a matter of... Come on. Oh, there we go. I don't want to use a lot. Don't think I even need a lot with this stuff. So, yeah. So like I said, this is what I'm going to try to remember to do. I mean, I do, okay, when I have my moments where I get triggered and whatnot, I do, I do remember to like, I like to shower and stuff and go for walks to try and ground myself. But to really do a good self-care routine on myself, do my face, get a shower, you know, say my mantras, ground, all that, doing all of it. So there we go. All right. Well, thank you guys for listening, paying attention. Thank you to those who believe in me, have faith in me. Thank you to those who are defending me. And thank you to those who I have had to block and who I have gotten in, you know, some sticky situations with. Because as much as I might have my anger and whatnot in the moment, I also, like I said, I recognize what it is. And you guys are helping me blast up, and it's roles we're playing for each other. And we all share the same consciousness. We're family. So I see you and I thank you. And I'm working on my shit. So, all right. And I'm asking if there's anything Erik would like to say. He just goes, I fucking love you all, man. He's saying I'm with everyone. Excuse me. You want to work with me? I'm here. I can't love. He's which I recognize this. What he's saying, he can't love with an opposition to anyone else. No one can. That's not true love. That's not unconditional true love. We're all in love with each other. We all share the same consciousness. He goes, you betcha, babe. Now he's giving me cheek kisses, but I know that that's also, he wants me to let you guys know that he's holding on to you, hugging you, and giving you guys cheek kisses too. So, all right. I love you guys. Oh, and another quick thing too. They said a lot of, something that's been pointed out, a lot of stuff I say is generic. Like a generic kind of answer. I've noticed that too with my channeling, but a lot of times it is because a lot of it comes down to a lot of the same stuff. We all are sharing the same shit. It just is coming out in various forms, but the root cause of it is all the same. Fear of facing our greatness. That's what it is. Fear of facing our greatness, fear of facing home, who we truly are, God. But we're working on that. Sorry, hang on. Sorry. So yeah, guys, just remember we're all doing the best we can, and we're all helping walk each other home arm in arm. So my answers become generic at times because that's just what the answer is. I'm always honest in what is going on in my head when I'm doing my channelings, and that's another thing too. They said that I only care about money. I don't really care about money. Do I care about money to a certain extent? Yeah, because I still struggle with that illusion, but I'm surrendering a lot of that to Erik. I don't care about the money. I often do readings for free. I very often do readings for free. I answer questions for free. And when I'm in that space, I don't want to charge ever again for this. In fact, it took me a long time. It was only up until recently, in the past several months, where I really stopped feeling any kind of gross at the idea of charging people to be able to speak with their loved ones. I've had to work on judgment on that. It's not all about the money for me. At the end of the day, I don't care about the money. I want it to give back. I don't want to have to worry about it and think about it, but I just want to give it back. So we're all just doing the best we can, guys, and we're all helping walk each other home arm in arm. We're all helping shake and wake each other up, and it's all roles being played for each other, and I do see that even when I'm struggling. I always circle around working on my shit, okay? All right. I love you guys all very much. Thank you for listening, paying attention. I know this is a bit of a longer one. Maybe not exactly what you guys are all looking for necessarily, but I felt like I kind of needed to do this, give an update, and explain some stuff. So, all right. I love you guys all very much, and as always, have a wonderful now. Bye.